what's good, y'all? It's Gas, and today I'm gonna teach y'all how to make beats like Telxry for KanKan. Let's go. So starting off, I just grabbed this ballad preset out of X-Band, and I'm about to lay out a little chord progression. So I finished up the chord progression, and I know it looks a little crazy, but I'm gonna break it down for y'all. So Telxry's chord progressions are usually pretty obscure, and what I mean by that is, as you can see, they don't follow like any real rhyme or reason. Like, it's not like a typical chord progression where it's just like one chord and then another chord and then another chord and then another chord. There's a whole lot of filler notes and like notes that extend on for like strange periods of time. Something that helps me whenever I'm making these types of chord progressions is putting a chord inside of a chord, if that makes any sense. So for example, here you can see there's not really like an entire chord going on, but there's just these two notes playing together. Another good example is right here. You have the primary chord right here, and then over here you can see we have these three notes hitting all at the same time, creating almost like a chord inside of a chord, but they're also still coinciding with the top melody, if that makes any sense. So this is what the chord progression sounds like. So I just put up Zenology, grabbed the Soft Pad 1 preset, and layered it with the same exact chord progression that we just did with the other E piano. Those two together are gonna sound like this. So I just put up this warm violin preset out of SRX Orchestra, and I'm about to lay out the strings. And usually in these Telxry beats, the strings will be super unorthodox and just like all over the place. So I'm gonna try and imitate that. So I just finished up the string pattern, and as y'all can see, super unorthodox, like super strange, especially for a string pattern. So I'm gonna let it play out and then talk to y'all. So I'm not gonna lie to y'all, a whole lot of this was just trial and error, clicking stuff in and seeing if it sounded good and deleting it if it didn't. And you can also see I was just playing and experimenting with like how long the notes were, and you can see like a lot of them are overlapping. So just doing my best to like imitate that like really wacky, unorthodox type of style with these strings. So I'm back in SRX Orchestra, got another string preset, not even gonna try to pronounce it though. And I just tried to get a little creative here. So if y'all remember me talking about how there were like chords inside of the chords, then basically what I was doing, I was trying to get creative. I just copied them, pasted them over into the string pattern, and then I just play with them from there, see what sounded good, and it ends up sounding like this. So I went into X-Band, grabbed another string sound, this harp pizz preset, and this was just me like sort of doing my own thing. I was just trying to give the melody like a little bit more bounce, so I grabbed this preset and just sort of like put some stabs in everywhere, and still going with the Telxry style, just tried to be like super unorthodox and like crazy with it. And then I also had this little like repeating bottom note. The G sharp was repeating like every quarter bar, I guess you would call it. So this is how it sounds. So I just put up this piccolo preset out of purity, and basically all I did is I just laid out this triplet pattern, and then I just had that repeating throughout the whole thing. Randomized the velocity so it's not too repetitive, and I also had it pretty low in the mix, but it's gonna sound like this. I just pulled up BBC Symphony Orchestra, no pause. Pulled up this piccolo woodwind preset and basically just made like a super simple flute pattern. Nothing really too much to elaborate on here. Sounds like this. Last sound, I went into Triton, grabbed the smooth sine lead, and laid out a pretty crazy pattern. Again, just trying to mimic that Telxry type of feel with all these like sort of crazy patterns. So as y'all can see, again, just playing with how long the note goes out for, and then like having some areas where the notes are sliding, some areas where they're not, just being super experimental. So everything sounds like this. So the final melody sounds like this. Time for the drums. Just finished up with the drums. I'm gonna give y'all a real quick breakdown. So starting off with the clap, super easy pattern, most basic pattern ever, just 3 and 7 clap pattern, nothing special there. And then we got the snare pattern, just accenting the clap, really just putting it around the clap and then giving the beat a little more bounce, nothing too special at all. And then we got the rim, same thing, just a pretty repetitive pattern, just accenting the clap, nothing special. Then I got the hi-hat, really just cutting out notes here and there and then putting a few rolls, just trying to give the beat as much space but as much bounce as possible. Next we got the chant, super basic pattern, nothing really to go over there. And then we got the 808. Now here I was just trying not to go too overboard, not too many hits, just let the melody do the talking and sort of let the 808 sit in the back. Everything here is pretty standard for the most part, just following the root notes. Here I had a little stutter note just to sort of give the beat a little bit more bounce. So everything together is going to sound like this. Now let's arrange it. So the beat's arranged, I'm gonna break it down for y'all. So I totally ripped this from Don't At Me, but I just had a little like storm ambiance playing in the beginning. for this little 8-bar pre-hook where I had pretty much all the melody playing except for the little sine lead. And I made a automation for the storm just so like the volume fades out a bit, and that sounds like this. And then that drops right into the hook, 16 bars, and I just cut out the first 2 bars of the 808 and the last like half bar of the drums in this little 8-bar. And then just to make a little more variation, I cut out the flute and some of the strings. Then from there, brought it into a 24-bar verse, just delayed the hi-hats, the claps, like all the drums for pretty much 2 bars, just had them come in like a half a bar early. And then I cut out this whole bar, and again with the melody, just cutting stuff out just to make a little bit of variation. And then the last 8 bars, I brought the storm back in and had the whole melody playing at once, and then it goes back into the 16-bar hook. And then for an outro, I copied over the first 16 bars of the verse, which I do a lot, and then I just had the volume fading out. And that's gonna be the beat, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you enjoyed or if you learned something, make sure you hit that like button. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Also, leave a comment, let me know what type of tutorials y'all wanna see, man, because I'm really down for whatever. And also, let me know how I did on this tutorial, if it sounds tough, if it sounds like something that Telxry would make, or if it just sounds like total dog shit. Let me know in the comments, man. I appreciate all and any feedback. And just a little message for y'all. Thank y'all so much for all the support on this channel. Y'all have been showing me so much love, and I can't even express enough how much I appreciate it. Let's keep going up. Let's keep winning. I love y'all, man. This has been Gas. I'm out. Peace.